Sorry, share, let me share. Sorry, I want to try something else here so I can be able to. Okay, I believe you can see my screen. All right, Coach Mills, you're the one, you're my go-to reference. You can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So intentional growth in public speaking. All right, sorry, there's an error there. It's meant to be growth in public speaking is not automatic. I didn't notice that. I apologize for that. So I don't know what when you guys were talking about the newbies and the OGs, I don't know how many people have been to the African Center for Public Speaking and pursued our course on public speaking called the Professional Speakers course. If you have, could you raise your hand? Coach Mills, you'll advise as they're doing that. I don't know if there are any. If you haven't, you can write in the text section, I haven't, so we know who has not done.
I see Muthoni is here. She's letting know she's here. I've seen a thumbs up. Also, I see Jacqueline Nikirote, her hand is up. Meaning yes. I see Maggie also, hand is up. I see Andrew. And I see George Bayer as well.
So these are guys who have done our course.
Yeah. And then Bahati and Riziki, they haven't.
If you have not, you can write just write us in the comment section. You haven't. It's not a bad thing. It's just good to know.
Trees also haven't. More also haven't. Okay, I think at the moment, Tinabell business hasn't as well.
Okay, so that's good to know. At least we have people who have and people who haven't. And the question maybe I would shoot out to those who have is, what have you been doing since you did the course? And for those who haven't, we're going to find out about things you need to be intentional on, especially once you have sharpened your public speaking skills. Many a times, many people believe that public speaking is just about being confident before an audience, confident in front, being confident in front of people. That is a portion of what public speaking is. And at the African Center for Public Speaking, we're able to sharpen you so you don't just have confidence alone before an audience, whatever you're able to deliver a message. When you have the opportunity to stand before people, it is important that you maximize on the time you have. You don't take people's time for granted and deliver a speech worth people's time. So who am I? Coach Mills has given you a slight introduction of who I am. Primarily, I'm a voice artist. I have quite some following on TikTok. I do a lot of voiceovers. I'm in the advertising space. I run my own business. I'm also a recovery and wellness champion. When I say recovery and wellness champion, means I have had my own fair share of life. I have battled alcoholism, and once I was able to get out and I got the necessary help, I flipped the script and I became a wellness champion. I have particular disciplines in my life that advocate for wellness, and I always try to share them, especially in this day and age when everybody is going through some level of mental health challenges. So I'm a wellness champion, and I also assist people who are going through alcoholism. Now, you'll notice that I put that there for a particular reason, because these are some of the things that you need to make sure you're in touch with. I am confident enough to talk about my alcoholism because of some things that I have done. And this is very important, especially when you need to connect with your audience. And you guys did this in the River of Life for those who have done the course. And for those who haven't, this is something you'll be able to touch on in our program. So as you, obviously, I'm a public speaker coach, and I'm an MC as well. So before we talk about some of the principles that you need to apply to make sure you're consistent in pursuing opportunities as a public speaker, you know, you can really look for the work. You can do, there's some other principles we're going to look at. You can do all that. But there's something you must do on the daily. So when you get that opportunity, you are at your best. Right? So some of the daily disciplines include, one, you need to work on your voice on a daily basis. Two, you need to work on your self-awareness. And three, you need to work on your diction and improving your grammar. Those are things the world's renowned public speakers do. I don't know if some of you have people you follow. I have people I follow, and there's a reason why they are so sharp, you know, when you watch them on YouTube, because it's not about what they do on stage, it's what they do behind the scenes. And this behind the scenes is a lot of work. And the three things that I need us to focus on today, so when you leave from here tomorrow morning, you will know that there's something you need to do, if not tonight. So let's talk about the voice. What do we need to do about the voice on a daily basis? Now remember, for those who have and for those who have not, this is just a snippet of what we do with the voice. The voice is the core of public speaking. And it's a defining factor of communication. Times you hear people say, oh, there is something in that voice that reaches the innermost recess of my spirit. When somebody has a good voice, you know, sometimes people might think that this voice thing comes naturally. Yeah, some people may have, you know, like they will say, we can all run, but there's one Omanyala. You know, some people may have gifts in voice, but we all have a voice that we can work on. We can sharpen it to the best of our ability. All right. So public speaking is 9/10 voice work. So this should tell you that you really need to be able to work on your voice on a daily basis. And a rich, correctly used voice is the greatest physical factor of persuasiveness and power, often topping the effects of reason. So we need to work on our voice, right? And what are the components that we studied? We talked about three. And the three components that we mentioned was you need to have ease, openness, and forwardness. Yeah, ease, openness, and forwardness. So I'll just go through them quickly so we can understand what we need to be practicing when it comes to. Let's start with ease. So the secret of a good voice is relaxation, because relaxation is the basis of ease. So what are the daily relaxation disciplines you have? What are the daily relaxation disciplines you have? You can write some of them in the comment section because I can't see you. But I'd like to hear this. Like for me, my spirituality is very key. I always strive to start my day with start reading the Bible, you know, and listening to godly music. And then after that, I exercise. When people hear my voice, when I do my voiceovers, they just think, wow, this guy just sounds good. They don't understand that this comes from a place of ease. All right? It's an inner state that I constantly work on. Okay? And it's demonstrated when I speak. State of ease. And you can easily check how you sound when you're angry or when you're bitter as compared to when you're happy and relaxed. The voice sounds totally different. So what are some of the relaxation things you can do for yourself? Think about this because you need to practice them on a daily basis. And then breathing. How do we breathe? We need to practice how to breathe on a daily basis because it helps you when you're doing your public speaking, breathing. And remember, the breathing must be centered, not in your throat, but in the middle of your body, right? So you must breathe from your diaphragm. And how do you want to learn how to breathe how do you understand breathing from your diaphragm? Lie flat on a bed and just breathe. You see how you breathe from your diaphragm, towards the abdominal section. So we need to practice breathing techniques. So ask yourself, what breathing techniques can I apply in my life? Breathing is important. Even in voiceover, we normally breathe first and then we take. So before I say something like, the secret of a good voice is relaxation, I breathe, and then I take. The secret of a good voice is relaxation.
Coach?
So, yes.
Are the slides supposed to move when you speak?
No, I'm still on ease.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't want to put a junk, too much information.
Okay.
I just want them to understand that the primary basis here is ease.
I think we are
Right.
still on the very first slide. That's where we're supposed to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've moved.
We are on slide number 1.
Gosh. Okay, let me stop sharing. And I share again. I don't know how that has happened. Apologies. Thanks for me. I was on slide 2. Oh Lord. Okay. Let's do it again. Let's see. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right. Has it moved to full?
No.
Can you see it in full now? Is it full display?
No.
So it's still showing.
I can see daily disciplines for public speaker,
Okay.
voice, self-awareness, fiction. Now I can move.
Is it moving now?
Yes, you moved to the voice.
Okay, so I think I'll just do this. I think there's a challenge when I put the full, when I expand it. So sorry about that. So we had gone through, we had gotten to this part where we're talking about the components of a good voice. I hope you guys can see there. All right, so we can move on. All right, so we were talking about ease. And we were moving on to openness. So the most important thing that you can take with you there is find out relaxation techniques. Have a state of peace. Most public speakers learn to do that, you know. Some people do yoga, you know. Have this because they influence how you sound. All right, it becomes addictive. Yeah, so think of relaxation techniques that you want to start doing on a daily basis. Then openness. Habitual mouth openness as you speak for clarity. Remember, sound is a series of waves, and if you make a prison of your mouth, holding the jaws and lips rigidly, it will be very difficult for the tones to squeeze through. And even when it does escape, it will lack force and carrying power. As we grew up, many of us, you know, my generation, the millennials, those are saying that was inherited, that children are not meant to be heard, they're only meant to be seen. So many of us have grown up with a lack of confidence to express ourselves, and that has reflected on how we speak. So we find that many people close their mouth as they speak. And now we need to be intentional on a daily basis as you engage with people to speak with openness. Make it habitual. Remember, open your mouth when you're talking. All right? Check with yourself. This is something that you need to make sure you do, because if you learn to speak with openness on a daily basis, trust you me, your presentation will improve when you get an opportunity on stage. Remember, public speaking, when you get an opportunity, when people give you time, it'll be really unfortunate for you to go up there and waste their time. So make sure you're able to be heard, you're audible, by learning openness, habitual mouth openness. So you can keep on talking, look for words, like even the way I'm saying openness, I am flexing, my tongue is moving, my mouth is enlarged because I'm practicing that. So learn to speak with openness. And there's forwardness. It's the carrying power of the voice. A voice that is pitched back in the throat is dark, somber, and unattractive. How do you practice forwardness? When you're speaking, put your hand in front of your, put your palm in front of your mouth and talk. Do you hear air hitting? You need to be able to hear air. Otherwise, your voice is pitched back if you can't hear that. So learn to speak forwardly. It's also an element of confidence, all right? Learn to be forward speaking. Put your hand here and check and make sure it can. So now imagine doing that presentation, the 5-minute presentation with your hand here. So practice that, okay? It's a skill. You're teaching your diaphragm as well. Practice that. Practice speaking with your hand here. And when you go outside and you engage with your colleagues, there'll be a definite difference. So we have talked about a few things that you need to work on a daily basis. And then I have some voice suggestions for you. Never attempt to force your voice when hoarse. If you're having a cold, don't force your voice. Take care of your voice. Honey, lemon, medicate. Don't force. If you're having this could damage your vocal cords. All right? Some of us love drinking cold water. I used to be a fan of cold water. Yeah, maybe it was because I used to love cold beer. But it's not good for your vocal cords. So every day be drinking warm water. This is good for your vocal cords. It warms them. All right? And then practice tongue twisters. There's a tongue twister there. Who can do that one for me? Can somebody give this an attempt? Maybe there might be an M-Pesa for somebody who will do it right. Maybe. Can anyone raise their hand and attempt this tongue twister that I've written there?
We can see it.
The screen is not moving?
We are on voice suggestion.
I have no idea. Oh, you're still at voice suggestion?
Yeah.
Where are you seeing?
Yeah, I can see you move.
Okay, now we have moved. Oh, you can't see the practice tongue twisters. There's a tongue twister I've put there.
It's the one.
Okay.
Cinnamon is a cinnamon.
Good attempt. Just say it again. The lady who just spoke, just do it again.
It is. Cinnamon is a cinnamon.
It's longer than that.
Okay. A synonym for cinnamon is a cinnamon synonym.
All right, do it again. Let's see if you can do it faster.
Okay. Okay. A synonym for a cinnamon is a synonym. Synonym. My goodness. Oh,
very good attempt. So we need to practice these things. One more person can attempt.
A synonym for a cinnamon is a cinnamon synonym.
Very good. Say it faster now.
A synonym for a cinnamon is a cinnamon synonym.
Very, very good. So those are the things that we need to practice. Which means you want to give it a shot.
Next, I'm still laughing.
Yes, it doesn't come any easier for me. But these are the things. There are many tongue twisters you can find online. Try them. They are good voice. They help you work your tongue. Some of us have wishrab. You know, it's excusable as an amateur. But if you're getting better, you need to practice these things. A synonym for a cinnamon is a cinnamon synonym. Practice, practice, practice tongue twisters. Work that tongue. Then voice charm. Voice charm, basically it's a way of life. It's a habit. It's social intentionality. When you've had some particular speakers come on stage, and even before they talk, you already like them. And then when they talk, you like them even more. So their work is already 80% done. Now, even after that, they have now prepared a powerful speech. By the time you leave there, you're moved, you know. But these people have something called voice charm. And as you've read, their voice charm is a way of life. It's a habit. Social intentionality. Be intentional about being nice. Be nice to people. All right? You can never fake being nice. Be nice to people. Say hi to people. Be intentional about saying hi to the God. Say hi to people. Become that person, because when it becomes a habit, it becomes a character. It develops into a character. And this character is evident on stage. You cannot fake it. You know? So practice this thing. Be nice. Say hi to people. Be interested in people. Be intentional socially. All right? Those are some of the things that you need to work on as you're heading towards the main stage of public speaking. So there are other disciplines. One is self-awareness. All right? And self-awareness, the first thing I'll ask is, are you more in touch with your story? More open to give more? I'll tell you one thing, that powerful speakers always give something about themselves. Some dark truths, some things that happen in their past, and they're able to share this. Are you able to do the same yourself now? If you give the course, how far are you? You know, some of you might need to go for therapy. You might need to go for counseling. So you can heal, so you can share. Some of these stories you have are the golden, listen, sort of things that the world needs to hear about. Because when you add your experience to whatever you're saying, you are able to connect emotionally with your audience. So are you comfortable sharing your story now? If not, work on it. Talk to somebody about it. Talk to a friend. Start opening up. Like when I left rehab, I started with the first taxi I got into. My name is Daniel Orenge and I'm recovering alcoholic. Right? I just didn't get onto a stage and shout. No, it started step by step. Step by step, started confessing these things, and I've found healing through even speaking about it. All right. Then another thing is getting to know yourself each and every day. Work to be your best self. All right. Start journaling your thoughts so you can reflect on them later. Think about the gifts you have. All right. Some of you, when I ask people this question, what is your talent? What is your God-given gift? People go like, huh? You know, because they were never really nurtured when we were children. And it's unfortunate, but it's not too late. All right. For us as adults, we can figure out these gifts. Figure out what your gift is, your strength, because these are the things you use in public speaking. So they work for you because they come naturally. You don't have to work against the grain. Work with the grain. Find out your gifts, your strengths, you know, and use them to your advantage. All right. So self-awareness is a daily endeavor. Keep on finding more about yourself. Keep on trying to build habits that support your personal growth and goals, and then practice positive self-talk. All right. Practice positive self-talk on a daily basis. And reward yourself for wins, the small wins that we achieve every day. The other discipline is diction and improved grammar. You cannot be the same with each presentation you do. You need to be having new words that you're able to present to your audience. So my question to you is, what book are you currently reading? I know many of us will have an answer for that. You can write it in the comment section. What book are you currently reading? Like for me right now, I'm reading The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. I just came from reading Master Your Money by Ron Blue. I'm telling you, I never had the capacity to read books, but I'm trying. And I'm doing better. Yeah, I'm doing better. So be intentional about this, because they improve your grammar, improve your diction. You'll encounter words you didn't know. All right. And then you also become more intelligent when you're especially able to quote from books you have read. You're able to connect with your audience like that, and it adds weight to who you are as a speaker. So what book are you reading right now? Don't tell me the Bible. What book are you reading right now? And then, how is your memory? Are you doing anything to work on your memory on a daily basis? Memory is very important. We have a section where we talk about memory training in the professional speakers course, and there are things that we've learned that we go through that help us improve on our memory. So there are applications you can use. You could write down, you could try and memorize numbers. Try and memorize. It's very important when it comes to speech presentation, so you don't have to always look at the script you have. So we can try and do all these things, but how do we stay consistent? How do you make sure by the end of the week, if it's exercise, if it's singing, but this singing is another good way to work on your voice. I realized that when I started worshiping God truly, like, you know, and forget about people who are around me, and I'd sing and realize my voice sounds different when I come to the studio. Singing is also a good thing, you know. So how do we stay consistent? And I'll give you 3 things that we can go home with today. One is accountability. 2 is, is the screen moved? Coach Mills, are we together?
Yes, it is.
Amen. Accountability, intentionality, and contribution. All right, so the 3 things we want to cover. So accountability, the power of support and discipline. All right. So intentional growth in public speaking requires more than self-motivation. It thrives on accountability. By inviting trusted friends or colleagues to hold us accountable, we create a support network that helps us stay committed to growth. This approach encourages 2 essential actions, which is seeking opportunities, daily practice and discipline. We have an example at the African Center. We have an alumni group, you know, and some of you have already gone through the course and you have friends, people you met in the same class. Keep each other accountable. What have you been doing over the last month? Or not even month is far, week. What endeavor have you been able to achieve in terms of growth in public speaking? For example, seeking opportunities. With accountability, we are more likely to actively pursue seeking engagements, training, and practice sessions. So you could ask your friend, this week, I want to be able to look for 3 opportunities to speak. Hold me accountable. And you can use 3. Yes.
Can you scroll back a little bit? I have something I need to write down. Yeah, again now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Can we go on?
Yes.
All right. Hide this thing here. Yes, so like seeking opportunities, get a friend, a true friend who is interested in your growth. Both of you are chasing the same goals. Look for engagements, you know. How can you keep each other accountable on seeking these opportunities? Then, like daily practices and disciplines. You can call your friend every morning and ask them, what have you done this morning? Have you done your deep breathing? There's something called deep breathing that is actually very good for your health, where you can go outside in the morning normally between 4 and 6 a.m. and you inhale as much oxygen as you can, fill up your lungs as you tiptoe, and you exhale very slowly. And you do that about 5 to 10 times. It's very good. There's something it does for you. And at that particular time of the morning, there's particular ions in the air that are healing. That if you didn't know, now you know. So some of the things you can do and hold each other accountable. Have you done your deep breathing? Have you done your home workouts? Have you done your tongue twister? Which one have you done today? All right, send me a voice note of tongue twister. Then, so Coach Mills, could you mute? There's somebody who's, thanks. So have accountability on these things. please write down a friend right now who you're going to talk to after this call, who you can hold each other accountable on some of these things. Okay? Write down that friend. The notes are very important, but the most important thing is that friend. Who comes to your mind? Write them down and make sure you talk to them after this. Then the second one we are going to deal with is just basically intentionality. You know, some of these things seem very basic, but there's a lot of work to it. They're the principles behind success. So intentionality basically means purposeful actions for lasting impact. Intentionality is at the core of meaningful growth in public speaking. It involves setting clear, purposeful goals and committing to deliberate actions that align with those goals. All right? So we need to have a plan. Okay? If you don't have a plan, you're not going anywhere. So we need to define clear objectives. What are we trying to achieve in the month of November and December in terms of speaking forums, in terms of appearances that you can get, purposeful practice, and then also reflecting and adjusting. So I'll say something small on defining clear objectives. Growth requires clarity. So what are we improving on? Could be you want to improve on vocal delivery, your confidence, mastering your body language. All of these things are important. So you need to understand maybe your areas of weakness. And you say, I want to become more confident. I want to be more audible. I want to develop vocal chart. Clear objectives. And I'm achieving this in the month of November. All right. This is specific to public speaking. So setting specific goals gives direction to our effort. Right. So we're not all over the place. We're headed in a strategic way. Purposeful practice. Instead of random or passive practice, intentionality means practicing with focus on improvement areas. This could involve rehearsing challenging parts, improving on storytelling, or adjusting your tone. Some of us speak with monotones. And as you notice, as a public speaker, even as I'm talking to you, my body language is an emphasis of, it has to happen by default. Yesterday, I sent a friend of mine, I saw a friend of mine who does content, and we're going to mention something small about content. And I could see her, she has been having a monotone in all her videos, and she's looked at the screen and not at the camera. So you can always see her looking at she doesn't maintain eye contact with her audience. So the first thing I told her is, look at the camera. But you have a monotone. And why you have a monotone is because your hands are tied. So probably get a tripod or something to hold your phone. And this is also for you, dear audience. Get a tripod, record yourself. Maybe you need to improve on your hand gestures, because movement of hands breaks monotone. Monotone is speaking with one tone the whole time. You lose your audience. But you're able to, have high tones, low tones, based on the emotion you're trying to express. All right? That's purposeful practice. Then we have reflecting and adjusting. Intentionality also involves regular reflection. Identifying what was working, adjusting what isn't, and celebrating progress. If you're not careful, you'll always be beating yourself down, because they say we are our own worst critic. Yeah. So it's good to reflect. And even these things intertwine. Even in accountability, your friend can also come and give you some insight on how your performance has been. I tell you, you sounded good saying this. The other day I was on a podcast, Talks with Jagero. I've been there 3 times. And he recently called me to talk about marriage. And I believe I have a lot to say about marriage, having been from addiction, alcoholism, now in sobriety, how that looked like, and there's a lot I had to say. But the whole time I spoke, I doubted myself. I mean, from the time I finished, I was like, oh my God, is he even going to air that, this episode? I don't know if I've delivered, because it was new area for me. And then somebody shared the link with me yesterday and said, hey, bro, you're spoken powerful. And I heard it myself and I watched a whole 1 hour and I was like, wow, okay. So, sometimes you might be your own worst critic. So it's good to reflect, sit down and reflect and see, I could have improved here, or yes, you actually spoke well. It means you're doing something right. Pat yourself on the back or buy yourself ice cream. I love ice cream. As I said, occasionally, I know I've been saying we take warm drinks. So reflect, have moments of reflection. Okay. Then finally, we have contribution. Now, this is where the rubber hits the road. Making a meaningful impact through public speaking. Contribution. So public speaking isn't just a skill. It's a powerful tool for positive impact. Remember that. You're going to talk to people to get them to think about what you have said and cause them to act. You want to make the world a better place, and you want to do it through public speaking. It's sacred. Remember that. So intentional speakers go beyond personal growth. They actively seek ways to influence, inspire, and contribute. All right. You need to know that whatever what you're pursuing is sacred. I keep on talking about Myron Golden, and he says the 4 levels of value. And he says, don't work hard at the same level of value. People say, I'm going to work very hard. You can't work hard at the same thing. You'll just become more tired. You can work a level up. And he said the first level is, there's a phrase he uses for it, and it's not coming to mind, but it basically, they're called the implementers. People who use limited resources. That is time is limited, and muscle gets tired. They earn the least. We would call them in Kiswahili watu wa mkono. People who do the physical manual work earn the least because they're using limited things, and wealth is spiritual. Then they said people who earn more are the managers because they start using spiritual traits, which is managing people. Getting a quorum of people to do things is spiritual. You're able to direct, motivate, lead people. So managers start earning more money. But the people now above them who earn people who earn good money are the people who can communicate well, the public speakers. People who use voice. The pastors, the politicians, the singers. So think about it. You need to sharpen you need to be intentional about your public speaking, because this is something that will definitely increase your income. You're working a level up. But the people who earn the most, obviously, are the people who use their creativity. And this is the order that God created, seen in Genesis. People who use the creativity. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, people who think about something creative and implement it. That interesting saying I had the other day is that people want to be millionaires, but they don't want to become millionaires. And it was very interesting because that means that it's true. A millionaire does a lot. He creates solutions, and creating solutions is hard work. But people just want to have the money, but they don't want to become that person. All right, so how can you leverage your voice to make a lasting difference? Number 1, seek opportunities to serve and contribute. Intentional speakers don't wait for opportunities to come to them. They find ways to contribute every day. For example, in work presentations, in your school events, family gatherings. Every setting becomes a chance to share insights, inspire, and connect. At the African Center for Public Speaking, we sharpen you and we tell you, what if you have a presentation to give in 1 minute? How do you present in 1 minute? One of the quick ideas is you draw a house in your head. The house has the living room, the kitchen, and the bedroom. So you partition your speech into 3 quick divisions. Introduction of this. What am I going to say about what we have talked? What am I going to ask the audience to do? And how am I going to conclude? So you walk through the house. So every time you're you walk through the house mentally. So every time you're at a venue where you see that this is an opportunity to speak, you already start thinking about what can I say that is meaningful here, depending on what is going on in the place. That's how a public speaker thinks. He's always thinking ahead. What will I say here, given the chance? And the universe, or God will, respect that, and you'll find yourself getting an opportunity, and you'll find yourself ready. Okay. Then secondly is position yourself as an expert. So how? By packaging yourself as a credible speaker and sharing your knowledge on social media, you build a recognizable brand. Are we doing that? Are we using this day and age where content is very powerful? You don't have to compare yourself to other people. You just have to start. Anybody who is doing very well in content creation or social media is somebody who started somewhere. All right? Start. Make people know when they come to your page, they see that you're a public speaker and these are your areas of interest. Grow a brand. Yeah. Thirdly, content creation. Content creation is absolutely amazing because one of the things about content creation, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You practice at the same time you market. All right. That's what sharpens me, especially as a voice artist, because every day I'm trying to produce content. And I don't only produce content for voiceover, I produce content around wellness, I produce content around addiction, I produce content. There's a whole scope, and I also do, devotional content. So this helps me practice. I'm always writing a short script, memorizing it, and I come in front of the camera and I record. Okay. So by default, I end up doing this very well and I share it. So I end up marketing myself. So create and share valuable content on platforms. You know them: YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. Start somewhere. I remember where at the beginning of my journey, I used to think, how am I going to even get somewhere? But consistency will get you somewhere. Consistency will get you somewhere. You'll find that you are not where you were a year ago. Content creation not only enhances your skills, but also positions you as a trusted resource in your niche. All right, then you can propose to add value in established spaces. Don't shy away from reaching out. Send proposals to organizations. Yeah, be it to schools, media outlets, government bodies, where you can add value. At times, some of these things you might need to do them for free, just to position yourself. People will argue. Me, I won't. I won't argue about that. I think at times you need to, because you have an end. You have a vision. You have a vision. You're not yet where you need to be. So you need to get more exposure. So all you need is audience. Say, I'd like to come and speak about, if it's whatever comes to your mind. My wife always tells me to go speak about mental health. She public service. She tells me, there's an organization there, go and propose that you can come and speak. That you can speak across all government bodies, coming up with different topics, So these are some of the things that you can pursue. Just look for where you can fit in and send proposals. Many institutions appreciate fresh perspectives, and these platforms can amplify your impact on a larger scale. Okay. So this is quite similar to what I had said earlier, but I'll finish with it. Create opportunities. Don't just wait for them. Proactive speakers create their own platforms. It could be you want to host a local workshop. You could just come up with a flyer, say, I'm doing a webinar. I want to come and speak at an event. As I've said, online webinars, these are self-made opportunities. They'll pave the way for authentic growth and meaningful contribution. So I'll finish with saying this. Through intentional contribution, public speakers turn their voice into a catalyst for change, using their skills to inspire, educate, positively impact the world around them. How are you going to be intentional? How are you going to be held accountable? And how are you going to contribute as a public speaker? Those are things to think about. And with that, I come to the end and I want to take a few questions.
Oh, thank you, Coach. Oh, I see people applauding you already. Oh, let me help you on this part as well. So I will monitor the chat box. So if you have any questions for Coach on what we've just covered today, just drop it in the chat box, or if you're able to speak, you can raise your hand and then I will spot you and I will cue you to say something. In the meantime, Coach, as we wait, I want to read some comments for you. There's a point you asked if people are reading books, and if they are, which books they're reading. Sylvia Cheng said, I just started Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And then Kwanjala said he's reading In Pursuit of Purpose by Miles Monroe. So Derek is reading 2 books. The other one he's reading is How to Develop Self-Confidence in Public Speaking by Dale Carnegie. And then Berlin said, just when I think you had said, just which book, but not the Bible. She said, actually, it's the Bible. She's reading the Bible. It's a devotional or something. But Mutoni Kamande also said she's reading from Miles Monroe about the purpose of woman. And then Sylvia seemed to agree with you, and she said that as a book lover who studied in the village since I was 11, I can attest that reading helps. I have never had a village accent. She was agreeing to something you said about reading, expands your vocabulary and all that. So yeah, that's that. Bahati Eugene says, very insightful presentation. I guess that's more of a comment. So Sylvia, there's a question from Sylvia, which I'll help you answer at the end of the session. She asks, could you share your social media handles? I will do that. I'll share Coach Dan's social media at the end of the session. Sylvia, you can just hold that. Eric has a question. He asks, my question is on the issue of warm water. Do you need to add anything to it like lemon, ginger, or warm water alone is enough?
I'll answer that. For me, I have a morning routine of always drinking warm water and lemon. Why I do that is because, first of all, it helps with my gut. It's a good cleanser. Warm water and lemon in the morning is fantastic. But you can add these other things like ginger and lemon. And these things are things that help you also keep colds away. Cold is the enemy of a speaker. So yeah, you can add those things on, they help. But the essence is just make sure you whatever you're taking is not even necessarily around the water. Water is good. You need to hydrate. As a speaker, you need to continuously hydrate. But whatever it is you're taking, make sure it's warm. That's friendly to your vocal cords. You know, we at times forget that we need to take care of this instrument here. It's an instrument. All right. So warm water goes well. And we drink a lot of water during the day. So just try and make sure when you go into the dispenser, make sure the water is warm. Avoid cold. The keyword is to avoid cold things. Yeah, cold soda. The sugars, the artificial sugars are not also good for your voice. All right. Yeah.
Okay. He's given a thumbs up. He's satisfied with that. We have another question from Tinabell Business. Before then, let me read. Flavia stepped into the comment and she told us that she's reading 7 Habits of. Berlin, we know your mic is on. Kindly mute. Thank you. So Flavia stepped into the comment and told us that she's reading the 7 Habits of Successful People. And then on to a question from Tinabell Business. She asks, she starts with a comment. Okay, she's off again. Sorry about that. So she starts with a comment, awesome presentations, and then she asks, how can one identify their speech archetype such that one isn't a speaker with an overwhelming stage presence, yet they are friendly and soft-spoken?
Let me look at that.
Okay.
Question. It's in the chat here.
Yeah. The last one.
All right. This is all part of self-awareness. All right. This is all part of self-awareness, and that's why I've said before we get to the main stage, we should be already aware of who we are. One of the things about my voice is, for example, I know my voice can also be intimidating. All right. And if I'm having a bad day, if I'm having an attitude, if my day started off wrong, and I've not employed my daily disciplines, I can end up sounding arrogant. And that's not the case. So I always try to blend that and make sure my inner self has a level of peace. And I'm always, as I told you, vocal charm. Vocal charm is just something you have to work on. Yeah. And as you keep on presenting, people will tell you, because as I told you, you can only learn through feedback. Okay. This is not something that you can figure out before. You have to do it by practicing. Once you've gone on that's why it's good to have as many engagements as possible. So you can hear, people will come to tell you, nice presentation. Then you can ask somebody, maybe you tell a friend to join in the presentation and ask them to critique and tell you where could you have improved. Okay. All right. And over time, it's something you just master. You know, the most important thing is to be aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. Like for me, I'm certain my voice can either come out sounding arrogant or it can come out sounding nice and warm. So I'm already aware of the things that could make me sound arrogant. So you have to be very self-aware. And then over time, as you keep on presenting, have moments to reflect, ask for feedback from once this presentation is all over, you could always ask, get settings where you feel you can learn. Right? That's one of the reasons why we have the school, the public ACP, African Center for Public Speaking. We do a lot of practice there, and we give you feedback so you can understand, so you can shape and become who you need to become before now you hit the main stage. So a lot of practice in friendly environments will help you so you can get the right feedback.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Okay, she's done a thumbs up. She's satisfied with her response.
Tinabell, it's called Tinabell. I don't know. Have you done our course? It's just good to know.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, you should consider it. Coach Mills will tell you more. You should consider about, because I know it's very assignment intensive. So by the time you have left there, you've done over 30 presentations. So we'll sharpen you by the time you leave there, and you'll be able to develop that friendly and soft-spoken individual.
Okay, I'll consider it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So there's a comment from Riki. Riki says, a wonderful presentation. Thanks, Coach. Very helpful indeed. Muthoni Kamande, your hand is up. you can proceed with your question.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yes, mine is not a question, mine is a comment. And I'm so thankful for being here with you people, because I personally, I live in Switzerland, and I'm so happy to be part of this conversation. Has helped me a lot also to remember what I did 2 years ago. But I want to comment in this particular part what the coach has mentioned it, which I find out many people, they raise mistake or they cannot understand. But before I say that, let me talk about myself. For 20 years ago, I dropped class 8, and I didn't know how also to speak in public speak, but I had a lot to tell people concerning my life history. So I was always used to talk exhausted, and sometimes I was feeling rejections. But the day I was hearing compliment, people, they say, oh, you are so positive, you love to help. I didn't know also the limit where to help, especially where the teacher say accountability. Through that accountability helped me to become who I am. 2 years ago is when I went to class 8, I did class 8. At the same time, I also joined this public speaking, which helped me a lot to set also my goals and also to prepare the speech. I don't have to explain everything at once. I can do slowly by slowly. So this is what I wanted to comment to the teacher about. That thing has reminded me and has helped me, because there are many things I still have to adjust in that area. And the same things, I also help people how to help others. It's helped a lot also to mold or to correct yourself in a social environment. I'm very social and I'm very positive. So I'm very thankful for that comment about accountability, because that has helped me to grow, because I am very far away in public speaking personally. Thank you.
Very nice. I don't think you're even very far away. I think you're very far ahead from where you started. Remember, we always have to look. Yeah, we have to always look how far we have come from where we were.
Exactly.
Yeah, how far we will get, it's only God who knows. But we just keep on pushing every day. And one thing I want to commend Muthoni for, Muthoni has seized an opportunity and she has spoken. That's one of the things we were talking about. Public speakers seize opportunities. She has seen an opportunity to talk. She has felt impacted and she has shared. Such things are the things that open doors. So even where you find yourselves in webinars and you've been told to mention questions, feel free. That may be your opportunity. Do a Muthoni and say something. Say something to the audience. They don't come every day. And this is an opportunity for us. So thank you so much, Muthoni, for that. And I sincerely wish you all the best. I am sure you're going places, considering even where you are location-wise, means you're doing a lot and for yourself. Asante sana.
Asante pia. Thank you.
Yeah, that was such a great testimonial from Muthoni. For the record, it was not staged at all. Let me proceed with the question, which we are almost closing out. So if you have a question, just drop. I think we'll just take 2 more, but I want to read a few more comments. Jin Emmanuel says, what a wonderful session. Sylvia asks, which I will respond later. She says, how do people enroll to the school? And what are the charges? I'm a business developer and content creator who seems to talk to people a lot. My friends, however, say I don't have good storytelling skills. I need to improve on this. So I will mention about the charges at the end, but do you want to respond to her comment, plus?
The only thing I can say about storytelling, we learn how to say storytelling is all about emotional appeal, and it's something that you can work on. And storytelling is a very strong pillar in public speaking. You can say much, you can say a lot with a story. You know, we have incidents. We have a session where we talk about emotional appeal, and we talk about how to stop using facts, but using a story to promote facts. And people listen to stories more because it becomes more real in their mind. They're able to see what you're saying. For example, instead of just talking about accidents that have been happening and we need to raise money to build a bridge, you can talk about how somebody died on that bridge 2 days ago, and this person was somebody we didn't know, but who knows, next time it could be your brother, it could be your sister, it could be your cousin, it could be you. How about we come together and raise money for this bridge? The only thing that I've done there is that I have already seen the bridge in my head. I've already seen the accident. So when you're giving stories, you just need to see it. You need to feel the story. Many a times we are just narrating. When you hear somebody saying, like on news, they saw an accident, they say, Miliona, the car came, it hit the roundabout. When we come to the stage, we want to be so composed when you're saying that. That should not be the case. You should be able to see what happened and express it, because that's human. So storytelling just is about being more in touch with the story and allowing yourself to express. We develop a cocoon when we are on the stage, and we need to get out of that cocoon and be as expressive as we can, because the more I express, it means the more I'm in touch with what I'm saying. All right. So I hope to see you at the school, and we'll talk more about that storytelling.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. On that, Beatrice has a comment. Thanks for the wonderful presentation. I've learned a lot. Esther Mwangi asks, what's the cost of the course? I respond to you, Esther. Sylvia asks, which I believe is the last question for today. She asks, for basics, how can we cut off the arms in conversations? I think she's referring to the word works.
Sorry?
Sylvia Ching asks,
yeah,
for basics, how can we cut out the arms in conversations? She's referring to word works. Yeah.
All right. It's good that you're already aware about word works. Now, as I've said, this is a habit that we have learned from other people. So it'll take some time to unlearn. So give yourself some grace, but also be very intentional about it. So dealing with the word works means you just need to be very well rehearsed about what you want to talk about. Okay? Most of the times we feel that we need to fill voids of silence with because we're allowing our brain to think. And that's not the case. We need to just pause. All right? And restructure what we're thinking. Remember, as a public speaker, you're a leader. You need to remember that. At times we feel that when we get on stage, we have to follow a particular pattern. We are at the mercy of the audience. No, we're not. We are leading. So you need to allow your thoughts to flow. And when you feel like you've missed a word, you can pause. All right? And you can even simply ask the audience, how do you express, the audience will be willing to give you that word rather than filling it with ums and ahs. Okay? There's places where it's acceptable. The only problem with ums and ahs is when we do it too much. So I went to this person's house, and after it becomes too slow, it becomes repetitive and becomes annoying, and you end up looking like an amateur. Where you throw it once in a while, meaning you're reflecting, is fine. But the excess of it is the problem. So remember, if you've rehearsed your content well, and if you feel like you've lost your thought, allow yourself to pause. All right? And you can also ask the audience to give you the word you're looking for.
Okay, thank you, Coach. That was the last question for today, but allow me to read some more comments that have come in. We have Jin Emmanuel says, I've learned a lot, and I will definitely enroll for the public speaking class. I'll give you details, Jane, on the next class. Please just in just a few minutes, I'll get to that. Jacqueline Kirote says, hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Kirote. Thank you, Coach Dan and Coach Mills, for this great session. It's always great listening to you. Be blessed. Thank you, Jacqueline. Pamela also says, wonderful presentation. And then our last comment for tonight, it's from Muthoni Kamande. She says, thanks for the speech. I wrote a lot today. God bless you, Mr. Daniel, and your admin. I guess she's referring to me. And then another comment has just been sneaked in from Anne-Lisa. She says, insightful session. Thank you so much. So thank you, Coach Dan. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Very insightful. that you've given us today. I'm sure so many people other than Muthoni have written plenty. Oh, I see Elizabeth's hand is relentlessly up. Okay, I think it's down now. So if you're grateful and you felt impacted by Coach Dan today, let me see. Let's just help him exit the stage with some virtual claps. Oh, thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as promised, allow me to transition to the last part of our presentation. I won't take much of your time, so kindly don't leave. I just want to share about the courses that we offer and how to enroll. I want to share. Where do I share? Here. Coach, tell me when you see my screen, yeah?
Okay. Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. Is it full now?
Yes.
Okay. Have I gone to the next slide?
Yes.
All right. So as promised, I'll make this as brief as possible. So to mention the courses that we do have, again, we are the Africa Center for Public Speaking. So public speaking is the main core of what we do. And under the unit of public speaking, we have a couple of programs that we do offer. We have the professional speakers course, which normally happens in a class setup. Now, allow me to highlight a bit about this one. The professional speakers course is a class setting training that we normally have, which runs for 5 weeks. And in these 5 weeks, we have sessions 3 times a week, every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. It's very practical, like Coach has mentioned, it's very practical. We normally have presentations every single day and takeaway assignments where people go and work on their speech based on what we learned that day. So our classes are very practical. Let's say 80 practical, 20 theory. For that reason, we normally take a limit number of only 12 students per class. 10 in class, 2 who are able to join us virtually. We keep them very limited. And this is the other part of that statement. We have the last class for this year happening. The last intake is starting on Monday. Monday, the 11th of November is when the last class of 2024 is officially starting. So if you're here, I will tell you how to get to that class. Now, if also maybe you've been listening and you feel like maybe that won't work for you, the hours may not work for you, or the class setup won't work for you, we have 2 other programs for you to consider. We have the regular speakers course. It's a one-on-one coaching. You don't have to be limited to a class. You can do it based on your availability and the coach's availability, but it has 8 units. So the professional speakers course runs for 5 weeks, 3 times a week. It has 15 sessions in total. The regular speakers course has 8 sessions in total. And then we have the executive speakers course, which is more intense. It's longer. It has 18 sessions in total. This one, you normally pitch it for if you are a leader, if you're in leadership position, or if you're already a speaker and you want to hone your speaking skills. That's the one that will pitch for you now. Because I can really get into details with all of that, I will give you our official number where you can get in touch and someone will explain to you all these 3 programs, and then they will advise on the one that will be best suitable for you. If maybe from what I've said, you're still not sure which one you fit. Like I said, there's the regular speakers course, professional speakers course, and the executive speakers course. And like I mentioned, the last intake of 2024 is starting on Monday, the 11th of November. So I'll give you the details again. You can get in touch if you need to get into that class. I think they already started. I don't know how many slots are available. Last I checked, they had 4 slots available. So if I was you, I would jump into that. Another program that we offer in the public speaking module class rather is the foundational speakers course, and this one is for the kids. You normally have public speaking courses for kids, and by kids I mean anyone from the ages of 7 to 17. Now that's my department. I am the lead coach for the kids public speaking classes, and we have a special one that I want to mention now with the holiday season being here for the CBC curriculum and the 844, they're still there. We have the holiday class starting on the 18th of November. It's going to be a 2 weeks session, Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday is going to be 10 sessions in total. So if you're here and you have a child, or you know a child or a parent who will be interested, well, this is something that will be interesting to keep the kids engaged during the holiday and also develop their personal skills even at the very young age, so that they don't get into this thing later in life. So we will also share, if you want to get more details about this, we'll share the contact, and someone from our team will be gladly explain further about this. Intake is already on, so 18th is next week, but 1 on Monday. That's when we start. Again, all our classes are very practical. 80% theory, 80% practical, 20% theory. We have a limited number of intake as well, so it's on first come, first serve basis. We also have courses on leadership. So if you're here, you're in leadership position, or you're aspiring to get a leadership position, we do have some programs that we do offer. You can get in touch with us and we'll give you more details on that. Also, we have other programs on personal development. Again, it's you can always get in touch with someone from our team if you are struggling with confidence or self-esteem, or just going through some personal issues. We do have people in our team who can help you and maybe direct you to a program that would be best for you based on your situation. Also, we do have a program on job interview preparation skill. Again, if you are tired of getting the invitation into the room, but never maturing or transitioning into a job offer, and you want to do something about it, this would be the course for you. Or maybe you have a big interview coming up and you don't want to risk losing out, and you want to show up ready. This will be an opportunity for you. So how do you get in touch? That's our contact information. You can write to us, email us, info@publicspeaking.tc. Sorry, let me start again, info@publicspeakingtc.org. You can write to us and we'll be there to respond. Or for faster and more efficient communication, WhatsApp us at +254 734 300 900. Again, 254 734 300 900. You can WhatsApp us, you can give us a call, and there will be someone to respond and engage with you. Now, we have this habit, especially for the newbies. If you're here and you're a newbie, you probably don't know this. If you're an OG, you do. We have this habit of just appreciating people for showing up. You know, we could have been anywhere, we could have been doing anything at this lot, but you saw our invitation for this webinar and you responded. And for that reason, we are going to extend a 10% discount that is valid for 48 hours. So if you want to take action, all those comments I've been saying in the chat box, like how much is the course, I want to enroll, then we want to motivate you to actually take action. So in the next 48 hours, if you can text us with that code, just text us 10% discount code. Maybe if it's on for a public speaking course, just text us and we will activate a 10% discount for any course that you enroll on based on what we covered today. I mean, based on our conversation here today, again, active for 48 hours and you get a 10% discount. So that's that. Someone asked about, oh, I don't have your social media. Coach Dan, kindly, if you want to get in touch with Coach Dan on a personal level, he's mentioned that he's into he's into wellness. He's battled his way out of alcoholism, and he does a good job talking about it. Just spread the message out there. He's a voiceover artist. If you want to get in touch with him, that's his number. You can reach him.
I've shared the links as well.
You've shared or you will share?
I've shared.
You've shared? Okay, yeah. So he's very active on TikTok. He's like TikTok famous. You can get him there doing his thing as a voice coach in his voiceover job. You can always get him there. That's his number if you want to reach out to him. That's his email if you want to get in touch with Coach Dan Orenge again. So that's us. I want to exit from this screen so I can see you. If you'd want to visit us, our offices are in town, CBD in Nairobi at the Plaza, and our website is www.publicspeakingtc.org. So let me come back to you. Where are we? Yeah. So that's that from us. Just to thank you so much for being here until now, all 36 of you. And asante sana. So I want to just thank you and wish you all a lovely, lovely night. And I hope to see the ones who say they'll sign up in the next class, or if you refer a parent or you're going to enroll your kids, please, looking forward to seeing you. So thank you so much. And until next year, is it premature to say Happy New Year? Because this is the last webinar of the year. This is the last one. We will see you again next year when we do another awesome calendar of webinars to just help you on your journey of becoming a speaker. And remember, the top of the pyramid of this wealthiest people are speakers. Let's get on top. Thank you and good night. And it will mean so much to me if you can just unmute and tell me good night as you log off.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Thank you.
Good night. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good night, Coach Mills.
Good night.